What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Series 11 team building video, and finally we're looking at my way or my take on how to use Calyrex Shadow. So this will be again another future rental code that we're going to show off in January for Calyrex Shadow specifically. And you know, I typically don't play Calyrex Shadow teams just because most of the time they're like hyper offensive teams, and I don't really play hyper offensive. If you've been a fan of the channel for a very long time, you know that I like to play my mons slow and bulky with stuff like Grimmsnarl and, you know, screen support. I don't really use like stuff like Whimsicott, Tailwind shenanigans, but you know, at least for the purposes of this video, you know, I gotta have at least one kind of hyper offensive team, right? I gotta have at least one just to say that I did do it, right? Oh, by the way, we did showcase this on the Discord the other day, but we finally got the Cloverbells mug going, right? So if you're interested in potentially in getting the Cloverbells mug, all right, no product advertisement, but if you're interested in potentially getting a mug, let me know in Discord, and maybe we can work something out. But anyway, enough about that. Let's just take a look at Calyrex Shadow here. So again, you know, why is this thing feared? It's just because it's so offensively oppressive, right? You know, it's got base 165 special attack, and if you have something like a life orb on it, it could just end the game in turn one. You know, after it gets a kill, it starts getting you know, those special attack boosts, and it starts to steamroll you, and there's really nothing you can do to stop it. And it's super fast with base 150 speed. So yeah, how are we gonna play this thing? So, you know, if I'm gonna play Calyrex Shadow, I'm gonna play it the way I want to play it, and I'm gonna play it the way I think I'm gonna have the most fun with it, because, you know, I don't really play Calyrex Shadow teams. So we're gonna go with, of course, the Clover tech of the greedy, nastiest of plots. Yes, we're going with Calyrex Nasty Plot, all right? So that means if you know we're gonna be going with Nasty Plot, we're gonna have a redirection mod on this thing, and you already know it's gonna be Clefairy. You know, a friend guard is just really nice. You know, just to have. If I can't have Grimmsnarl screens, I'll go with the next thing. I'll go with friend guard support, and I'll go with redirection, and I'll set up my Nasty Plot, and then I'll be hunky dory, right? But then to go with this, you know, I kind of want to have another thing where, you know, as a secondary sweeper and something that can also set Trick Room as another added surprise, we're gonna bring back an old friend. We're gonna bring back Porygon-Z, okay? And this is the one that's gonna have the Life Orb item on it. Okay, and not only is this gonna have Trick Room, okay, this is also gonna have the greedy Clover tech of Nasty Plot. So we got two mons here with Nasty Plot. You already know this looks like a fun team, okay? And again, you know, Porygon-Z Clefairy, that was a thing in previous non-Uber formats, and you know, Clef Spectria was a thing as well. But we're running with Calyrex Clefairy as well. So if we go against Trick Room teams, we'll bring the Porygon-Z, we'll flip the Trick Room on them, and then potentially start setting up Nasty Plots and Dynamax and start sweeping, right? But then from here, I think we're just going to keep it relatively standard as far as like HO is concerned. I definitely like Thundurus on this kind of team. Okay, specifically the Defiant one, and with the Assault Vest, just so that, you know, we have that extra bulk against other special attackers like a Kyogre, for example, and then might as well throw in the Urshifu here, and we're gonna have Choice Band on this. So you know, Choice Band Urshifu, you know, again, doesn't care about Intimidate. These two just don't care about Intimidate. And neither does Porygon-Z or Calyrex. You know, if you want to bring your Incin against Calyrex Shadow, then I'm gonna bring Thundurus Urshifu. So, you know, all the more power to your Incineroar for those that want to bring it. If you want to bring Landorus, no problem. We got Thundurus Urshifu. All right. And then from here, oh, by the way, we're going to be running the spell tag item, because if we can't have the Life Orb because it's on Porygon-Z, then at the very least, we can boost up the ghost damage with spell tag. So it's kind of like a budget Life Orb, so to speak. All right, and then from here, we could use a little bit more offense with the speed. So yes, we will have a second fairy on this team, and it will be the Whimsicott. And, you know, Whimsicott with Urshifu is always very strong, because now you could start off strong and then finish off with, you know, Calyrex or Thundurus in the back, or even Porygon-Z and Calyrex in the back. And what's good about this 6 is if you have a shadow move, I'm sorry, if you have, well, what is it called? Okay, we're gonna have Hyper Beam, of course, right? But if you have something like Dark Pulse, okay, so this is a dark move, all right, you can Dynamax this, drop Spadef, and then Calyrex just cleans up and takes advantage of those special defense reduction. But at the same time, you know, Porygon-Z can benefit from that as well. But then Calyrex, when you have Astral Barrage, okay, now you're dropping defenses, so things like Urshifu and Thundurus can come in from the back and finish the game, right? So, you know, I kind of like the 6. It's just my way of you know, trying to play Calyrex. Like, if I'm going to use this thing, I'm going to play it the way I want to have fun. All right, and Nasty Plot with Clefairy and Nasty Plot on Porygon-Z with Trick Room is the way to go about it. All right, so we got the 6, and we almost finished rounding out the movesets here. But now let's just wrap it up in terms of the items. Okay, so now let's do the we'll do the finishing touches on the items, the movesets, and the EVs. All right, so let's just go ahead and reveal our GIFs here. So of course we've got the Clefairy here. We've got the Porygon-Z, we've got the Thundurus, we've got the Urshifu, and then we'll reveal the Whimsicott. All right, so now for Astral Barrage, of course, you know, Incin might still be annoying, and things in general, like even Zacian. So Mudshot is pretty good. It helps gives us speed control. It becomes Max Quake, if anything. And then we can also have Hyper Beam, which is another form of speed control. So no Protect on this thing. We don't need Protect. We're trying to be offensive here. Alright, Clefairy, of course, with the Eviolite, relatively standard. You know, Follow Me, Moonblast, Helping Hand, and Protect on this one for sure. Alright, there's our Clefairy. And Porygon-Z, we already did the Life Orb and the moves over here. So this one is also relatively standard. Wild Charge, Fly, and I like Brick Break. Just so that if we're going against Grimmsnarl screens, we could just smash it. And then I like Crunch for my dark move. So that's another thing. We can always Dynamax the Thundurus and then go for, you know, Max Darkness, drop Spadef, and then Calyrex comes in the back and then, you know, cleans it up. All right, Urshifu. So Surging Strikes, Close Combat. All right, Aqua Jet for sure. And I think U-Turn is also pretty good. All right, Whimsicott again. So because we're Choice Band, this is going to have the Focus Sash. All right, just to have another round of Tailwind, or at least dodge the Fake Outs is always good. And same thing I hear, Moonblast, and then Helping Hand, and then Protect. Right. So in terms of the EVs, I believe the Whimsicott's the easiest one. We're just going to go quickly with Timid. Alright, and you know, because we're Focus Sash, just a simple 252-252 spread here. Nothing too crazy with the Whimsicott. Same thing with the Ursh. Alright, Jolly spread, you know, attack, and you know, just 1 point in Spadef. Alright. Now for the Thundurus, this is the one that we're going to use from our Groudon video, and you know, there were some interesting calcs behind this one, and when we go to the damage calcs, I'll reiterate what those damage calcs are. But in terms of the EV spread, we're going to just go Jolly. And we are max speed, but we're going to have a little bit of HP investment. Specifically 92. And then 148 attack investment. And then from here, just 1 point in the defense department. And just a little tiny bit of Spadef from here, 102. And that's a even number, which is good. So this way we get a perfect round number for our Assault Vest boost, which is 1.5. Now, the Calyrex, again, the Calyrex is also going to be Timid, and, you know, nothing too crazy here. You know, it's just too frail where, you know, we don't really need to invest too much bulk here. It's just not going to do enough for it. So, you know, just very simply 252, 252. You know, simple as that. No Life Orb optimization, because that's going to be on the Porygon-Z. So with the Porygon, this is where you'll have more of the EVs invested here. So we're going to go Timid. All right, and I feel like we're just going to invest enough speed where we can outspeed, what's his face? Actually, you know what? We can go Modest here. Let's go Modest, and let's invest enough for Regieleki, right? Because 139 plus Tailwind, so that's enough for Regieleki, right? And then from here we can just go second bump, or I believe third bump. Let's just take a look at this. So there's the first bump. So first EV bump at 36. Now you add another 80 EVs. You go to 116. All right, so you see how you go from 185, then you go to 187. And again, if you're confused on what EV bumps are, feel free to comment in the video below and ask me what are EV bumps. I feel like someone asked me at least once per video, and I'm very much obliged to explain what EV bumps are. But if you're going to be playing competitive Pokemon, you got to know what EV bumps are. All right, so make sure you know what these are, and I will explain them if you ask. All right. But anyway, after another 80 EVs, we'll reach the third bump, which is 196 investment. All right, here it is. Because you can see that right here we have 198 attack. But then if I drop it 1, we go to 196. So where did the 197 go? That's why it's called the bump. So 196 all the way to 198. There's our third EV bump. And then from here, just Life Orb optimization. We'll just go to 169 investment. And then just 12 defense. And then 4 speed F, and that's really all we need out of our Porygon-Z. All right, hard hitting with enough speed to outspeed Regieleki. All right, and after Tailwind. Okay, now the Clefairy, more or less the same idea. We're just going to go with bump investment. So I'm gonna go Bolt here, you know, and then just where is our bump here? 196. 9, so 97, 99, but we have an Eviolite here, so let's go to 180. Okay, and then we'll go to 175 HP just to optimize Sand and Hail Chip, so the weather damage, because again, what is 175 divided by 16? That is 10.9, which rounds down to 10 damage per turn, so 10 damage. And then we can just have 4 special attack, 4 speed, just to be faster than other Clefairies, and then the rest is just in your special defense department. And it, you know, it works out because we have an Eviolite, so nice even numbers here, so we get the best bang for our buck. And again, we have our optimized HP for that as well. So it's just a bulky Clefairy overall, nothing too crazy. All right, and I believe that's it, right? We have all the items and we have all the EVs, right? So we're gonna call this Clover's Series 11 Greedy Calyrex. All right, we'll call it like that. And let's upload a paste here. And again, we'll show this paste also at the end of the video. But hey, I did promise a couple damage calcs, so we might as well show that off real quick with the Thundurus specifically. All right, and then we'll showcase a few sample battles. Okay, so a few of the Thundurus calcs here. So again, we showed this in the Groudon video, but now we'll bring him back here. So the reason with this investment for Thundurus with a little bit of HP is if we're going against an opposing Groudon that is first bump adamant with a Life Orb. All right, if they Dynamax and go for Rockfall, the Thundurus will in fact live. So there's always that. And not only that, but we can also live Landorus. So let's go Landorus here. So let's go standard Lando. Okay, but we'll give it the Life Orb item. So Life Orb. All right, and then if it Dynamaxes, and again the Landorus 252 Life Orb Max Rockfall does not kill Thundurus. And honestly, if we're +2 attack as well, we're gonna hit it hard right back with an Airstream, and then we'll be faster again, and then you know we'll just kill it. I mean, Thundurus is already faster than Landorus to begin with, but yeah, I mean the fact that we can live a Life Orb Max Rockfall Landorus is always pretty good. What about like Aleki plus Kyogre, right? So what about like Electro Web plus Water Spout? So let's go Regieleki. Let's go a standard Aleki set. So Electro Web, about 15% to drop the speed, right? And then what about like Kyogre Water Spout or Kyogre Max whatever? So it custom Kyogre. So let's say it was 252. Okay, and then Dynamax, right? So you know 73 plus 15. Again, it's still not enough to kill it, and even if that was a Life Orb Aleki, that's still not enough. So Thundurus lives the combination of Electro Web from Regieleki and a Max Geyser from a modest 252 Mystic Water Kyogre. So really nice. The fact that Thundurus can live all of that. Okay, and you know, if you click Electro Web, then it's going to be +2, and then Kyogre just dies from Max Lightning. So really nice. Now, what about Calyrex? There was another interesting calc with Calyrex. So let me just standard Calyrex Shadow. So something like Psyshock. So Psyshock actually does not kill our Thundurus with the AV, no max, no anything, and if it was Life Orb. So that's really cool, and we do have Crunch on this thing, right? So then we just KO it right back with Crunch, and you can see the damage that it'll do to Calyrex Shadow. If this was max, again, not a chance, and then Max Darkness just one-shots it because it's 4 times weak. So this is also why I like Crunch. Foul Play may be good, may be preferred, but you know, I still like Crunch just because, you know, this is what kills Calyrex Shadow. Foul Play does not. So yeah, those are some of the main Thundurus calcs here. I think there's a couple of Porygon-Z, but let's take a look at that. Okay, so now let's look at Porygon-Z. So without Max, against Urshifu, we live the Wicked Blow as it is, and you know, Hyper Beam just one-shots that. But usually they're Sash, so that doesn't make too much of a difference. But again, you see how close combat just kills. What if we had Clefairy next to us with the Friend Guard? Close combat still kills. But if we were Dynamax, now we live. Okay. What about Dynamax with no Friend Guard? Can we live it? We still do. So that's always pretty good. And again, we do have Max Strike, which again could just one-shot the Urshifu if it's not Sash. But even if it is, then we get Speed Control, and then we just go again and, you know, click another Max Strike. So that's always good to know against Urshifu. What about Zacian? So standard Zacian with Behemoth Blade, no Friend Guard. You can see it just one-shots you, even if you're Dynamax. If you have the Friend Guard, okay, again, it is a roll. You can live the close combat, so that's the other thing you can live. But again, Behemoth Blade is a roll, so I don't think it's worth making this extra bulky. I think as it is, it's, you know, it'll do what it needs to do. You know, you still have the Clefairy. You can click Max Strike, make it slower, and then kill it again next turn once you get the speed advantage on the Zacian. But you have the Clefairy, you have the Whimsicott, so you know, all the more power to your Porygon-Z. But at least you know it's not 100% KO. So there's that. Those are the main calcs. Everything else is just 252, 252, and you know that it is what it is. All right, now let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the sample battles. Okay, so this is a Rayquaza game with a Grimmsnarl. So very interestingly, then there's a Raichu. So potential fake outs, potential Nuzzles and Eerie Impulses. So this is a very clear Calyrex Clefairy lead. And you know, if he leads passive with Grimmsnarl, I'm clicking the Nasty Plot button every day of the week. All right, there's nothing that's stopping me from doing that. So as we start play, there's the Calyrex, there's the Clefairy. He goes with Grimmsnarl and Rayquaza. So funny enough how he names his mons after the items that he puts on them. All right, he tells me to have fun in the beginning. Oh, I'm gonna have fun. Trust me, I'm having fun here. So this is very clear. I'm setting up Nasty Plot because he's gonna set his screens. This is without a doubt. All right, so he actually switches out for Stonejourner. Why he did that, I'm not sure. But again, there's the Nasty Plot. So, I mean, what else can he do here? I mean, he already set up one screens. You know, I fear the Sucker Punch and the Spirit Break. So I'm just going to click Follow Me, Nasty Plot again. And what else is he going to do? So, you know, there's the Follow Me. And he's Scarf. So, I mean, he's probably clicking some Rock move. Yeah, something like that. And again, I'm faster, so what is the Rock Slide really doing? So, you know, I just clicked Nasty Plot twice in his face. But again, now I can just click Follow Me again and go for the Astro Barrage this time. And then I know he's not Sash because he told me he was Scarf. But now Calyrex is +5. All right, here comes the Aggron. And I'm just going to click the Astro Barrage again. So now I'm +6 because I just picked up the kill on the Grimmsnarl. And the Sturdy makes him live one turn. And there's the Iron Head. He kills the Clefairy. But here's the Rayquaza again. But this doesn't matter because, you know, I'm +6 already. and another Astral Barrage. Alright, and we get rid of the Aggron. He just has a Life Orb, so he's gonna kill himself, you know, even if he kills my Calyrex here, which he didn't. He killed the Whimsicott anyway. But hey, I had fun. I clicked Nasty Plot twice, and then we just swept from there. So you can see how much fun I'm having right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at another one. Alright, I don't know what the heck this is. This is like some Regigigas with Hippowdon, Alakazam, and Zacian. I couldn't tell you what this is. Alright, I don't care. I'm going with Porygon-Z. I'm going with Clefairy, and you already know what I'm doing. Alright. But yeah, slow start. So how much damage is this thing really doing? He maxes it anyway, but you know, I just went for Helping Hand, Max Strike, you know, Dazzling Gleam, what's that gonna do? And look how much damage that does to Regigigas. Okay, I thought he would Max Strike himself, but he just goes for Max Knuckle, so I already get the speed control that I need, and now I can just knock him out with another Helping Hand, Max Strike, there it is. You know, he could have Zacian in the back, but his Max is gone. He clicks Disable. I mean, I don't know. So that was a quick one. Even if he brings in Zacian, you know, I'm just clicking Follow Me, Max Strike, and then Calyrex wins the game at the end. Or Follow Me, Max Darkness, and then drop his Spadef bonus if the Zacian comes in. And then again, I just finished the game with Calyrex, so it was already over. So let's take a look at a third one. Alright, this one's a little bit better. This one, he's got an actual Necrozma Duskmane team, and again, he's got no Tailwind, so if I bring the Whimsicott, I'm gonna have the advantage here. But I'm thinking Thundurus Urshifu, right? Because he's got a lot of physical mons, and you know, I can put a lot of pressure if I bring in Thundurus here, so especially if I click Max Darkness. So he goes with Regieleki Dracovish, so that's why I led Urshifu Rapid Strike here. So I'm going to swap into Whimsicott here in case he does go for that Electro Web shenanigans, which he does. I'm really surprised he did that because I'm Defiant. So yeah, he gets the speed control, but again, I'm bulky, so I'm going to live his Vicious Ren. So there's the Airstream, goodbye Dracovish. Alright, and I get the speed back, and I always have Whimsicott Tailwind. So there's the Tailwind, and there's my Max Darkness. And this Aleki is not Sash, so yeah, there's that. And he actually goes for the Whimsicott instead of the Thundurus there. I'm really surprised about that. You know, I still have my Max, you know, but if he kills, either way, whichever one he kills, I'm bringing in Calyrex, I'm clicking the Astral Barrage button, and this Necrozma is going to die. Alright, so now it's all a formality at this point. He brings in Cinderace, that's not going to stop Calyrex Shadow. I'm faster than both of these. He maxes it, that's fine. He actually max guards, I'm beside myself the fact that he did that. All right, and yeah, I don't know what he was trying to do. That maybe he tried to bait me, but you know, why would I not attack the Necrozma Duskmane? That's your restricted. Cinderace doesn't scare me. I have the Urshifu in the back, so yeah, GG's. All right, let's take a look at one more after this. Alright, this one looks like beat up with Whimsicott and Terrakion, and he's got the most random of Mons with Xerneas, so looks like Thundurus can do a lot of damage here. I gotta be honest. So there's a Whimsicott, he probably wants to match Tailwind with Tailwind, so Whimsicott Ursh is my thing, so I just want to chip the Whimsicott so I can break Sash, okay, and there's my Tailwind, and again, not even if he kills the Urshifu, it's fine. Assuming he goes for it, right? And he does go for it. So there goes my Ursh. But again, I chipped the Whimsicott here. I'm going to bring in my Thundurus now. And I'm just going to max. And I know I'm faster than this Moltres. So he goes for the Moonblast. That was very risky. He could have gave me a bonus if it dropped my special attack. So he has Rockfall there. So that tells me he's like Ancient Power Moltres. But again, there's the Airstream. I wipe out the Whimsicott. So now I have much more higher speed priority. There's the Darmanitan. I'm just going to chip the Moltres with a Moonblast. That Moltres has no bulk, and I just wipe it out with Max Lightning there. So there goes his Max. He kills my Thundurus with the Darmanitan, but again, I've got Calyrex in the back, you know, and I have one turn of Tailwind left, and he only has one turn. So I'm just going to protect my Whims just so that I can have the speed advantage, because he might even go for Geomancy, which would make him faster than my Calyrex, because my Astral Barrage is not going to kill, right? So I'm going to protect my Whims so that I can have Tailwind next turn. And this way, after Astral Barrage, which I will click again, I should be able to finish him off. So yeah, he went for Geomancy, right? So now I'm just going to go for Tailwind, so this way my Calyrex is faster. Alright, and this should be able to take out the Xerneas from this range, even though he's +2, and it does. Alright, so, you know, he didn't manage his management very well. We'll just call it like that. So, yeah, 4 easy games, you know, just straight up low ladder sweep, just to try out how this team works. But you can see the possible combos here with Clefairy, with Whimsicott. You know, it works fine. It does what it needs to do. And if you want to have some fun, you can just click the Nasty Plot button. Alright, so yeah, there it is. Alright, so again, here's the paste again for our greedy Calyrex Shadow squad. I mean, yeah, it does what it's supposed to do. If I had to use Calyrex Shadow, this is how I would do it, alright? You set up your nasty plots with Porygon and Calyrex, you know, and then you just smash them from there with your speed control things or your max phantasms, your max darknesses, and, you know, late game Whimsicott is always good. Early game Whimsicott is good. But yeah, this is how I would do it if I had to use Calyrex Shadow. Alright, so let me know what you think of this team, and if you'd like to see a run to code. But again, we'll be back with another team building video. Until next time, have a good one.